So this is part 2 of my speech. I used to love her, what is a quote out of a Guns N' Roses song. And yeah, part 1 I finished with this anecdote mainly by my drum teacher, where I had lessons from in the 1990s years. What is, I said it in part 1 of the speech, I used to love her. Really important. It's not a little anecdote. It's really important and really deep wisdom for learning music in generally. But to go ahead, I had a very good friend in the 1980s years and 1990s years, who was a brilliant soccer player, really brilliant soccer player. We played very often soccer. Myself, I was goalkeeper. I wanted to get a goalkeeper once, and I was mainly a goalkeeper. This is what I want to do in soccer. I love every position in soccer, but I'm best, and what I'm most interested in soccer is being a goalkeeper. And we very often played soccer, and he was really an incredible soccer player. And these days, his favorite soccer player was Windenrufer. It's a player these days in the 1990s years. He played at Werder Bremen. It's a German soccer club. And he was a star these days in the 1990s years, Windenrufer. He was his most famous player these years, and it's a soccer player out of New Zealand, I think. And this dude, Windenrufer, this soccer star in the 1990s years, I heard it, but I think it's true. He got to know his girlfriend, and before they were a couple, he got to know his girlfriend, and his girlfriend wasn't knowing that he's a star or he's a soccer star. And he hadn't said it to her when they met the first time. Hey, I'm a star, I'm a soccer star. And she wasn't knowing this. And I think they got a couple, and then he was telling her, hey, I'm a star, I'm a soccer star. And for me it's very romantic, and I like the story so much because it's so romantic, and I love the story with the soccer, combined with the soccer player Windenrufer. What belongs to that I will talk about this later on, I think, again. It seems to me that girls are, for example, not allowed somehow. In some areas it's not a secret, but perhaps in generally to be open, interested in soccer, or to make music on their own, not only to be Beatles fans, to be the Beatles themselves. As musicians, I think girls are not allowed to do these both things. In some areas it's not in secret, but I think in many areas, what is very interesting. But to go ahead, and this friend of mine I had in the 1990s and 1980s and 1990s years, with whom I played very often soccer, he too, I said it, was a brilliant soccer player, and I have the impression he'd had a little trophy. He won a cup around here at this area, Bamberg, Bavaria, Germany, on planet Earth, with his team, and had a little trophy. It was for winning only this little cup, but in my world, and I think it could be true, I only know it because I saw this trophy often, and it's really, it sounds weird, but it's really a piece of art. And for me, in this trophy is also pain. It's a golden soccer player, and figure, a little figure as a trophy of a golden soccer player with a golden soccer ball. And for me it's a piece of art, really, where it's also was pain made inside this trophy, what was art. And for me it was, I gave away my career that I could have to get a soccer star. I talk about this good friend I had in the 1990s and 1980s. This trophy was, I gave away my deepest treasure, my deepest, what I can best, sounds a bit boring, my deepest treasure, I gave away to get a soccer star. perhaps even a really well-known soccer star, to follow other things that are more important. And yeah, it's my impression of it's a trophy for a cup around here, but I think this story could be true. And his famous soccer player these days was Windenrufer in the 1990s years. My favorite soccer player these years was Bodo Ilgner, the goalkeeper of the national team in the 1990s, where I have the impression he's a brilliant keeper who, yeah, I would put it in this word, wasn't allowed to get really at his limit, what he's able to, why ever. And I have the impression of this soccer keeper, Bodo Ilgner, he's very dangerous. What is something good? It's good if people are dangerous. And I have the impression, if I look at him and something like that, and being dangerous is something really good. To have a quick look at the time. Yeah, so go ahead. There is a few days ago I saw it's a very funny gag out of the internet. I saw it on Instagram. It's a bit more in gag, but it's somehow a dude who makes really good music, and it seems to me it's a bit a running joke to hey, do you know this dude? He sounds exactly like Nirvana. It's exactly the rock band from the 1990s. This dude, do you know him? He sounds exactly like Nirvana, and he makes exactly as music as good as Nirvana. Do you know him? I heard about him in the internet, and some people seem to know him, and I don't know. He seems to have a few problems. I don't know. Do you know him? And it's so funny. But it's very important for me. I don't mean me myself with this. Really not. I don't mean with this story what seems to be true. Not me, Benimusik. Completely not. It's incredibly funny. But I really myself, I don't know really why. It's a bit more Dackel. It's a dog in Germany. It's a bit more Dackel knowledge. Because I cannot put in words why it's funny, but it is without myself. I'm able to put it in words. It's somehow funny, but myself, I don't know why. But it's really true. Do you know this dude? He makes incredible music. He sounds exactly like the band Nirvana, and few people seem to know him. He seems to have a few problems. I don't know. Do you know him? It's so funny, but I cannot put it in words why. But it's important to mention it within the speech. To have a quick look at the time. So, to go ahead. Yeah, this was part 2 of my speech. I used to love her. Part 3 comes after part 2.